Good morning, 7th grade. You should have out your 2.5 video notes and your calendar. Mrs. Holtgrave is going to come around and stamp your calendars if this is completed. While she is doing that, you should be working on the 4 warm-up problems in your notebook. You can go ahead and pause this video until everybody has a stamp and everybody's ready to go. Alright, when we solve for the absolute value of x, we can plug in, we know that the absolute value of something is always going to be positive. What I can plug in for x is both a positive 6, because we know that the absolute value of a positive 6 is 6. And we also know that if I were to have the absolute value of a negative 6, that is also 6. So the absolute value of x can equal both a negative 6 as well as a positive 6. I'll switch colors here. So when I'm looking at the absolute value of x here and I'm trying to get a positive 23, I should know that the absolute value of x can equal both a negative 23 as well as a positive 23. The absolute value again is the distance from 0. So we know that this 23 can be 23 spaces to the right of 0 or 23 spaces to the left of 0. So again, for positive 14, we know that the absolute value of x can be both negative 14 as well as positive 14. And then we should all know the answer to this one. The absolute value of x equals 0. The answer should just be 0. You can go ahead and pause this video if there are any questions. If not, you can go ahead and move on. Okay, pause this video and give yourself a moment to get this problem copied into your notebook. Alright, we should remember that we need to split our equal sign. So when I split my equal sign, I know that I need to do the opposite or undo the equation so that I can get the variable by itself. So I'm going to do this by subtracting 4, subtracting 4. Cancels, so we are left with a equals 4. Now remember, when we take the absolute value, we need to remember to also take the negative. So we should be writing this equation into our notebooks. And I'm going to go ahead and distribute here. So I take a negative times a, that's going to give me a negative a. And negative times 4, that's going to make it be a negative 4 equals 8. And then I'm going to do the opposite again. So we're going to add 4. And we're going to add 4. These cancel. We are left with a negative a equals 12. Now remember, we don't ever want to have a negative variable, so we're just going to do the opposite. So then a can also equal a negative 12. So when we get both of our answers, we always try to remember to write our answers in a solution set. So we have 4 and negative 12 would be our two answers for this problem here. Pause this video if you have any questions. Okay, here's our next problem. Go ahead and pause this video and get this copied into your notebooks. And if this helps, again, we're going to split our equal sign, and then I'm just going to get rid of the absolute value so that it's out of our way, so that we have a negative 7d equals 42. We're going to divide by negative 7. So we are left with d equals negative 6. We also need to do that another way. We have a negative 7d. And I need to remember to multiply it by a negative, or as Miss Johnson showed you in the video, you can squeeze that negative 1 in there. A negative times a negative becomes a positive. So this becomes a positive 7d equals 42. We're going to divide by 7 again. I forgot to split my equal sign here. So we are left with d equals positive 6. So in this case, our two answers are going to be negative 6 as well as positive 6. Okay, pause the video and get this equation copied into your notebook. And when you're ready, you can hit play. I'm going to split the equal sign again here, and I have 3y minus 3 equals 9. I'm going to plus 3, plus 3. These cancel. I'm left with 3y equals 12. Divide by 3. We're left with y equals 4. And I need to do that again by taking 3y minus 3 equals 9. I'm going to remember that I need to take it times the negative, or you can take it times negative 1. So that becomes a negative 3y. A negative times a negative is a positive, so this is going to say plus 3 equals 9. Then I split my equal sign. So we're going to subtract 3, subtract 3. So we are left with negative 3y equals 6. I'm going to divide by negative 3. These are gone. So I'm left with y equals negative 2. So we're going to write that in our solution set. So our answer can be both 4 or it can be negative 2. You can go ahead and pause this video if there are any questions. Go ahead and get this one copied into your notebooks. Pause the video and try this one on your own. When you've gotten both answers, you can go ahead and hit play to see how well you did. Again, I'm going to split my equal sign. Right now I just have 5h plus 2 equals negative 8. I'm going to subtract 2. So I have 5h equals. Now remember, if you are not feeling confident with your integers, go ahead and type this into a calculator. But a negative 8 minus 2 when I change the signs, 1, 2, that equals a negative 10. Let me go ahead and divide by 5. So h can equal negative 2. But remember, we have another answer that this could possibly be, so we need to do that again. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my problem. So I have 5h plus 2 equals negative 8. And I need to go ahead and take this, I should change color here, times a negative, or if you want to put a negative 1, so a negative times a positive 5, that gives us a negative 5h, and a negative 1 times a positive 2 becomes a negative 2, and we still have equals negative 8. I'm going to plus 2, plus 2. So we have negative 5h equals, and negative 8 plus 2 equals negative 6. So then we're going to go ahead and divide by negative 5. These got canceled, so we are left with h equals. Here we could leave this answer as an improper fraction, but remember, a negative divided by a negative gives us a positive. And if we wanted to turn this into a decimal, we could do that. I can bring up my calculator here. And if I take 6 divided by 5, I'm getting an answer of 1.2. And a negative divided by a negative is positive. So my answer could also be 1.2, or you could leave your answer in fraction form as 6 over 5. So my two answers are negative 2 and 1.2, or 6 over 5. You should now get your worksheet, your 2-5 worksheet, and complete this in class. If you finish early, you can go ahead and get a head start on your video notes that you have assigned for tomorrow that are due on Wednesday. Otherwise, this worksheet is due tomorrow, Tuesday, and I will be back to check it.